Johnny here for Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. So, breaking news, Ford Authority caught photos of possibly the Bronco Warthog in the wild. Now, is this really the Bronco Warthog? Now, I'm going to be reviewing tires that we saw in the photos and as well the exhaust to really wonder and ask the question, is this Ford just teasing us or is this really the next Warthog? Okay, so let's start with the news. Ford Authority is saying that this is the Warthog. Now, why are they saying it's the Warthog and what are they assuming? Well, they're assuming that this is going to have single exhaust on the hybrid and dual exhaust on the non-hybrid model. And what they're thinking is that it's going to be the 3-liter turbo from the Ford Explorer and the 3-liter turbo hybrid from the Lincoln Aviator. Now, if this is the Explorer engine, and the red cabling right here makes them really think that this is a hybrid, then they also spotted a model without that red cable or orange cable, sorry. So that led them to believe that it's definitely the 3-liter. Now, I'm wondering if they are right, this 3-liter turbo from the Explorer ST would give us 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. Now, knowing what Ford's done with the other two engines already disclosed, the 2.7 liter and the 2.3 liter, I really wouldn't be surprised if they tone down the power. And especially considering that Lincoln doesn't like to be outdone. So I doubt that the 3-liter turbo hybrid engine, so they add an electric engine. It's not just an add-on to the gasoline engine. It's full out electric engine with its own battery. Now in the Aviator, that makes 494 horsepower and 630 pound-feet of torque. But what if this is actually the 3.5 liter? And this might seem like a crazy question to ask because early on, a high up Ford rep was rumored to say that the 3.5 liter engine would not fit in the Bronco. However, Ford is full of surprises. I wouldn't be surprised if this was possibly deliberately put down as info, kind of semi-leaked info to sort of throw people off the scent, to leave some excitement for the end, a bit of a wow factor, a punch right at the end when they're right about to disclose and bring this vehicle to the public. Now, Ford Authority did assume that this is going to be a 2023 model, and one thing they've definitely, without a doubt, they've got the pictures. This is going to be a Fox Live valve shock technology like on the Raptor. So you're going to have that Fox suspension. The shocks are going to be the Fox Live valve technology, just like on the Raptor. So this thing's going to be great for, hauling down at fast speeds, taking some very heavy bumps or getting a little bit of air. So, that is exciting. But, first of all, as this picture goes by, let's hope that the Warthog does come with the 14-inch screen as standard equipment. No one's seen the interior yet, but I'm going to put it out there. Let's really hope Ford gives us that, and sorry, I'm exaggerating, not 14, 12-inch screen. Don't know why I always seem to be going to 14. That looks big. The 12-inch screen, let's hope that the Warthog gets it as standard equipment. Because if we think back to 2016 and 2017, a GT350 Shelby Mustang, which cost a lot of money, came standard with, that tiny little 4-inch screen. So let's hope the Warthog doesn't get the 8-inch that, if you're going to spend big bucks, we'll get the big screen right off. So we've got a really flashy, awesome interior. But, that's still a ways away to find out. Let's all hope. and maybe get some talk going on about it, and maybe Ford will see this going through the various videos and posts and say, you know what, hey, let's give it the big screen. Let's not have people pay a large hunk of change more like they did on the Shelby in 2016 and 2017 to have the bigger screen. But back to the Ford Authority article from March 3rd. Breaking news, they said this is the Warthog.
And they were absolutely certain that what they saw is the Warthog. However, I'm wondering, is Ford Authority, could they have been mistaken? Or is it, the whole exhaust tire situation Ford's way to try to throw us off? Now, one thing is for sure, the images that we just saw of a Bronco going through the desert, fast over bumps and catching air, that is going to be the case for the Warthog, because it's going to have that Fox Live valve shock technology. So the same shocks as on a Raptor, and that's going to be awesome. It looks like we're definitely going to get a Warthog, that's for sure, and it's definitely going to have amazing suspension. Now, the whole tire situation is really, putting a doubt into all of this, because what Ford Authority took pictures of with that red cabling, and that's another thing that we know for sure. When a Ford vehicle has, and I said red cabling, I'm a little colorblind, I guess, the orange cabling, when a Ford vehicle has orange cabling, it is a hybrid. So that is an also known factor. So, two things definitely certain. But the tires that we saw in the pictures, they definitely do not look like 37-inch tires. And actually, Ford Authority confirmed that those were tires that were 315 by 70 by R17. Those are the exact same dimensions as the Sasquatch tires. So did Ford do this deliberately to, hope that we wouldn't think that they're out testing the Warthog? Or was Ford possibly not testing the Warthog? Now, Ford Authority, there is no doubt in their mind, they said this is the 2023 Bronco Warthog. But it backed those tires. Those are Sasquatch tires. And what's more is the whole story with the exhaust. You've got a single exhaust, one with dual tips at the end, and the other one with a single tip for the hybrid, the ones that had the orange cabling. Now, this really puts big questions at play. Could Ford be out, testing a competitor for Jeep's 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that has a motor generator, electric motor generator mounted to the transmission and motor? Or, could this actually be, this may sound crazy, but could this be a 3.5 liter EcoBoost that they're testing for the Warthog, and a 3.5 liter EcoBoost hybrid? Ford has their own electric motor add-on. It's not just, a unit that they glued onto the motor and transmission like the Jeep, if I understand their setup correctly. It's a standalone system. Now, this might seem like, a crazy question to be asking, because early on, a Ford rep did say that the 3.5 liter EcoBoost would not fit into the Bronco. But, could they have just been throwing us off the scent? So they've got, a last, hoorah right before the Warthog comes out, something to really get the public talking, to get us all worked up when they announce that it's a 3.5 liter EcoBoost. I think this would actually get some people to really change in their already existing Bronco. And this is smart marketing. Ford is coming out with, kind of like a king Bronco after a lot of people have already owned the Bronco for a year or two, and I'm sure they know very well that people are going to switch for the Warthog. And I have a bit of trouble believing that a 3.5 liter EcoBoost won't fit in a Bronco. Come on, they can fit an LS engine into a Mazda RX-7, and if they can put a 5 liter Coyote engine V8 in just about everything as well, how does a 3.5 liter not fit into that Bronco engine bay? So, really, who got it wrong? Is Ford Authority, assuming incorrectly, assuming that the Bronco that they saw that I've showed pictures of from their website, that's definitely a Warthog, or has Ford just done a good job of throwing, at least me off? I'd love to hear about it in the comments, what, everyone thinks. So you can leave comments. I am going to be doing a video on the smaller Bronco coming up. Everyone's calling this the little brother or the baby Bronco, which I don't think is necessarily the best marketing, but I do think this car is, SUV is great. I tested it, I drove it, so I'll be getting to that really soon. I'm also going to be putting up a test drive of a 2.7 liter EcoBoost F-150 as well as a 2.3 liter Ranger. So those are two test drives that will help us kind of see, what kind of acceleration, what kind of noise that we'll get out of those two Bronco engine options. So that's coming up soon in the next, week, or hopefully less if I can work that out. But what are we going to see from the Warthog? I think it's too early to really say and guarantee and come out and say, the Warthog is definitely going to have the Aviator Grand Touring engine. Lincoln likes to do their own thing on their top models. Their top models like the Aviator Grand Touring, which costs a lot of money. I will actually be surprised if they have a Ford product, match their top of the line Lincoln product. And back to that whole exhaust issue, that was a single exhaust on what Ford Authority said was definitely the Warthog Bronco. And single exhaust just happens to come on the 2.7 liter EcoBoost on the F-150. The 2.3 liter also has single exhaust, and the 3.5 liter EcoBoost and PowerBoost, that electric model, the hybrid model, they all have single exhaust. Now, the Ford Explorer and the Lincoln Aviator don't have single exhaust. At the back of the vehicle, it's dual. So did they do this did Ford do this to throw us off, or did Ford Authority, jump the gun and assuming this is the Warthog? Either way, I still think there's a chance that we're going to get a 3.5 liter EcoBoost out of the Bronco. If so, it would make, a good amount of power, 400 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque at very low RPM. And then if we do get the PowerBoost, the 3.5 liter with turbo, we'd be getting 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque. Now, I'm not going to be disappointed one bit if it ends up getting the 3 liter. I just think it's a little early to definitively be putting a word in on this and saying, that was the Warthog, especially when everyone's been saying that the Warthog will come with 37-inch tires. We've seen the vehicle being tested with 37-inch tires, and that's not what we saw March 3rd. And when it comes down to it, I'm hoping it's the 3.5 liter EcoBoost in the Warthog, because without that hybrid system, while the 3.5 liter is making more power than we'll be getting from the 3 liter that comes out of the Explorer. So still, fingers crossed, hoping that we'll get huge smiles per gallon, because the 3.5 liter is both fuel efficient and extremely powerful. 500 pound-feet of torque is wild. I drive them on a semi-regular basis. My own truck is the older 3.5 liter EcoBoost, and I just love that engine. Now, in this video, you've probably noticed Bronco Sport going by, as well as a Ranger Tremor. And yes, I have a video coming up very soon on the Ranger Tremor. So if you like Ford Rangers, and if you like Broncos, and if you want to know more about the Ford product and see more videos, please like and subscribe. That's what really helps me out. And the comments have been really fantastic. They generate discussion and ideas to do videos on. So please keep the comments up and let me know. Let us all know what you think. Is there a possibility we'll get a 3.5 liter EcoBoost? Do you think that Ford Authority was right and that definitely absolutely is a Warthog, or do you have a bit of doubt as well? So stay tuned for more cars and more power.